Let's talk about clouds. You know, clouds, if you start thinking of clouds right away as having form and dimension and volume, you're going to find them a little bit easier to draw. So, for example, let's say I just make this shape here. Look at this. I just kind of make this shape. Look at that. That's easy, right? And if I was to add a bottom to that shape, I could do something like this. Look at this. Just a little squiggle. You see that? If I add a little bit of value to that, it's going to be something like that. So you get a sense that this is very round and has a very flat underside. Well, that's exactly what we do when we're drawing a cloud. And you could even simplify it even more if you were to create like a cylinder shape. You see that? That's what we're talking about. Or even a half circle. So when you draw clouds, this is what I want you to think of. I want you to think of mass and volume. All right? Good. I'm glad you like that, Cindy. So let's see here. Let's do this. All right, so let's go ahead and take the time we could draw this picture in about a half an hour or so. And I think that will give us some good exercise, all right? Good exercise in drawing good practice in drawing clouds. And when we draw this, let's keep thinking of form and volume versus flat shapes. Hey, Paris, good to have you. So first thing I want you to notice when we draw this picture, look at horizon line is toward the bottom. So we know immediately that this picture is all about these clouds, okay? Yes, you made it. Let's go ahead and put this mountain range in the back here. I'm just going to give a nice subtle mountain range. All right, let's come in here with these grasses. This is the one that's going to be in the foreground. And I'm kind of going fast here because I want to spend most of the time on these clouds, but you can watch the replay. Now, in these grasses, all I'm doing is thinking of them as mass. I'm not thinking of them as individual grasses, okay? All right, there's another one back here. That's the front end, and then they go like that. And then we have the ones in the far background there. When I think of things in like with mass and volume, it just makes the picture that much better than thinking of things as flat. Always draw something thinking of it with mass and volume. All right, let's start at the top here, and of course this. This guy is really the one that we need to start with. Seems to be the most forefront of them all, right? So let's just very lightly. We're going to come back and and darken this up here, but let's just kind of draw the form. All right, let's just kind of very casually just kind of walk around this shape here. And we're going to have another bit of overlap. And then another one, and get some variation in the thickness here. This is the underside of all these clouds back here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this other outline. This is the total outline of the cloud. It's right now we're just drawing the shape of it. All right, let's go in now and this first one that I could see the bottom of it right like this, you see? And then I'm just going to add a little bit of tone. Okay, here's the other one. And then, of course, our last one. So you really have to do a mental gymnastics here, and that's to really almost like you could reach out and just grab these cotton balls or whatever from the sky, and you could hold them, right? This is where I want your mind to be. I don't want your mind to think of flat. I want you to think that you can wrap your hand around these and pull them down to you, okay? If you start thinking like that, then you'll start drawing them like that. So now I'm going to slowly come into this cloud that's front to us, and I'm just going to start like feeling the form. Really thinking about what overlap here. See, it's a picture like this. It's a picture like this where I could just spend the afternoon just quietly with some music going and just really just taking my time and working around the form. Now this back here is going to be a little bit in value. One thing you might want to try is, let's just say, let's see, let me do this for a second. Let me remove this. One thing you might want to try is this idea, of using a core shadow. So this is a cylinder here, and if I add a shadow down here at the bottom, and then just add a core shadow right here where it comes in contact with the light, you really get a sense of roundness because of the bounce back of light. Well, this will also work in a cloud situation to where, let's just say if I'm doing something like this, and it may not be in the picture, but if you come in here like this, and then fill that in like this, and then right in here, come in here with this core shadow here, you really can get something that starts to look really round. Okay, I'm sort of doing that in this cloud right here, where I'm darkening the edge here and leaving the underside a little bit lighter in value. When working on your clouds, you have to think about your edges. Or is it a soft edge or is it a hard edge that you want to create? That's a very common question one asks, especially if one's painting, because that's really you only have, believe it or not, 2, if not 3 elements to deal with any sort of painting. That is, what is the color, what's the value, and is it a hard or soft edge? Once you're composition and subject matter are decided, and once you start getting into the application of what you're doing, it's those three things that you really have to ask yourself. What's the edge like? What's the value? And what's the hue? I'm going to add some value down here to the grasses. If you wanted to look at a good artist, good artist, I think his name was Caravaggio. He was an Italian Renaissance guy, and he really used clouds extensively in his work. Caravaggio. I think that's probably not the correct pronunciation, but he's known to, if I remember right, he was known to use like just the radiance of clouds all over. I'm always asking myself, does it look flat enough on the bottom? We get a lot of tastes. Like how do you want to render clouds? And I don't know, my own personal preference, and this is, I like to make them like thick. I like to really give them some muscle to them. And the idea that these things are floating in the sky, I think is pretty neat. So I'd rather give them make them thick as cotton candy. That just seems interesting to me. Now I've elected to not do the background as dark, leave the background light, but you can imagine that if I did, that would really create some awesome contrast with these clouds. If I had a wash of gray, I might add that to the sky up there. I've added these like clouds in the background here, more wispy than like these cumulus clouds, these thunderheads. I'm going to put one up here in this top corner. Like this one would be almost right overhead. All right, how's it going, everyone? Paris, you doing okay? Sandy, how you going over there? All right, I think that's going to do it today. We'll keep this short and sweet. Nice, quick little little landscape there of some clouds. I hope you enjoyed that. My name's Kurt. I'm Daddy Draws. Now go out there, make your day great, and I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow will be a man-made object. All right. See y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.